I'm sure that's just what you wanted to be on another meeting tonight, another call, right?
No, no, I like this group. That's not a problem.
Just another late night. Looks like we're still waiting on several of the other pro board members, so we'll give them a minute to join.
Okay, just to let you know, we are live on YouTube right now.
Okay, thank you.
How's everything going with you, David?
A lot better. Since we last talked, we're now more or less fully staffed.
Yeah.
I've got complete youth services team now. And I'm my new marketing coordinator starting on Monday. So
That's
couldn't have come at a better time because we've got an incredible amount of programming this summer. And so we're really looking forward to, to getting stuck in and doing some great stuff.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad you got all your people on board. Now is Erica still going to be our girl for the story times?
We're going to rotate it. Erica will do some. Shannon, who's our new manager, youth services, will do some, and Becky will do some. They're all great presenters, and Erica will do some as well.
Okay, all right. Well, we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So I think we're just waiting on Bob and Heather. Paul is out of town, and Jen had some family stuff come up, and so she'll be unable to make it.
Does anyone know any more information on what that posting was about for Crossan Park? If you the car.
Mary, just so you know that we are live streaming on YouTube.
And Mary, I'm happy to talk to you about that offline.
Sounds good.
Anytime.
I'm going to give it one more minute, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, if everyone's okay with it, I'll go ahead and get us started, even though we're waiting on a couple people. Welcome. I'd like to, there's Heather, right as I got started. I'd like to call the order the Franklin Township May 2024 Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Board meeting. We have several members of the public here tonight. David Payne from the Avon Grove Library, and Jacob Henning, local Boy Scout. Thank you for joining us. We have both of them on the agenda for tonight, and so we'll circle back around to you guys very quickly. First, I'd like to make a motion to approve the April 2024 Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Board meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Any opposed? Okay, good. Motion passes. 4. I guess there's 4 of us tonight. Let's hop into the agenda. First up, I had Jacob Henning on the agenda for his Scout project. This is just a quick review. We have looked at his project before. Jacob and I and Jeff met a couple weeks ago just to review some changes to his overall plan. And so we suggested that he join us again tonight just to do another quick overview, work out any kinks so that then he can go ahead and present to the Board of Supervisors at their next meeting. So Jacob, I will turn the floor over to you.
Okay, thank you. So if you weren't here previously, my Eagle Scout project proposal for you guys was a like bicycle repair stand. Sorry, I don't know if I can share or not.
You have sharing capability.
Okay. So this is the previous slideshow. So my reasoning for why I wanted it is that I'm really into biking and cycling in this area, and Crossen's been like a very good home for that, or a very good hub for that. So I wanted to give back. And the general idea was a bicycle repair stand. I do have drawings on another document. So after talking with my Chester County Council Boy Scout, what's his name? Like representative for approving the projects. He gave me 2 options that I could present to you guys. So the first option was a roofed version of this bicycle repair stand. So this is what it would look like. The information board on the right is another Scouts project, Liam Kelly, which you guys have met before. And my reasoning for the first style is that it's roofed. It would match with that information board, and it could possibly have an instruction board for how to use it if you guys wanted it. I have pros and cons for that. So the pros for having a roofed version would be a rain or like storm coverage and a longer lifespan on that bicycle repair stand. The cons is that it's going to take a longer time to install. It could be confining for certain bikes. I don't know if there's any 10-foot bikes, but there's a chance. So that is a consideration. And it's definitely going to be more expensive. I did the calculations on it. So the overall pricing for this version would be undiscounted $3,700 or $3,070, which I would be fundraising. Or the discounted price, I know someone who is offering up to 50% on it, and that 50% would be around, only on the lumber would be around $2,170.
So the price of $3,070, that was for the stand, the slab, and the roof structure?
Yeah, that would be it all together without a discount.
Okay.
The second pricing is with a discount. The second option is, yeah, of course. The second option would be freestanding with that same size concrete pad and an instructional board. The council representative advised me that I add an instructional board if I were going to go without a roof, because he didn't think that by itself would be enough just by installing it. Here's what it would look like. And once again, the one on the right is Liam Kelly's project. and the one on the left is my project without the roof. For the project style 2, it'd be identical like sizing for these to style 1. So that would be, I believe it's 6 by 10 feet. And it would include an instructional board and no roof. The pros to that would be that it'd be faster for me to install and it'd be completely open. But the fastening points could rust, as seen by the bicycle repair stand at the Whip Tavern in Coatesville, which I don't think this was installed that long ago. I believe it was either late 2010s, early 2020s.
Jacob, just a comment. So I know as you go through these pros and cons, you're looking, you identify cons that are or maybe pros that are probably pros for you, but not necessarily pros for the finished product. So you know, I just a comment, like I know it might be shorter time to install, but I think we should be focused on the project. It's on this project itself. And so just as you go, as I think about the pros and cons, I'm thinking about, well, here's something that looks more substantial, like you said, more not likely to rust, having a longer lifespan. So I'm seeing a lot of pros. The only con I would have would be the expense, and that's something we'll talk about. But maybe as you go through it, if you had other cons besides it takes you longer, because I think you just have to manage that. Just want to have that conversation.
Yeah, of course. I was rushing because I forgot to include like a pro or con on it, and I thought I should add it. So this is what I could come up with in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
I could definitely think of some other pros or cons if you guys would like me to send that to you.
Yeah, I mean, just off your head, what would be the other cons? So why wouldn't we do a roof? Like, why wouldn't you do a roof?
The only reason I thought about non-roofed is because it was suggested that maybe that's what you guys preferred in the meeting I had with Andrea and Jeff Eastburn. I wasn't sure if that's what was said.
Okay.
That's just what I got from it. But
Can I just jump in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of
Okay.
course.
I want to say that he absolutely, Jacob, I'm sorry, is listening to what we had said previously,
Okay.
and actually it's a really good job that you're matching Liam's structure. So it is something that we had spoke about previously.
Saying what you prefer, because remember, you have to get this by the board, right? And the board hasn't. We know about the project, but we've never had a conversation about roofed or not roofed. And I'm only one member of the board, right? I'm one of 5, but I actually think the roof project looks better. But I don't want to get too far ahead. I just don't want you taking him down a road where the bottom line is it has to get approved by the board, right? So just keep that in mind, that there may be other preferences. If you're telling him not roofed, just be aware that there may be other preferences.
Yeah.
Personally, I
and
like the roof, honestly.
And Jacob, I'm the operations manager for the township, so I am not technically a pro member.
Okay.
But if you're asking me which way I'm leaning, I would do the roof. But again, I know other people have other views.
Yeah, of course. And I just gave out 2 options because I want to be flexible with you guys. That's
Okay.
my main goal, is getting approval from you guys.
Right. So you're not coming with necessarily with a prep. You're just saying I could do it this way or I could do it that way. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically how I'm stating it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I believe that is all I have on this document.
What's the cost on no roof?
No roof, it would be approximately around $1,140. So about a third of the cost of the other one.
Except the discounted one was like 2,000, so it's really a half.
Yeah,
the cost
about
of-
a half.
Yeah, half of the discount.
And Jacob, do you know if it's under the roof structure, or is it just, do you think it would help save and maintenance cost with the roof on it?
I think, sorry, there's a fly. I think, I think that it might save a little bit, just because I don't think that it's that much of a concern versus rusting. But I think that just like quality of life, and then worries about, since it is in the woods, like if a tree falls on it, it's a lot more expensive to replace an entire bike stand than it is to replace that section of the roof, or like shingles.
Thank you, Jacob.
I'm open to any more questions, if anybody has any.
I do. Do you, I know you're coming with options, and that's really, and you explained that to us. But if you were willing to give your personal preference, which project are you more excited about? Is it with the roof or without the roof? Do you have a feel?
I think with the roof, just because I'm a more hands-on person and I want to put more effort into it. I don't want to just install a concrete pad and put something there. And although it would do the same thing, I feel like having more hands-on and like constructing something just for me makes it more meaningful.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Of course.
So can we tell Jacob what his next steps are?
So I think it looks like you've got your presentation. I mean, you got feedback from Donna. I'm sorry, my internet was kind of cutting in and out, so I missed a little bit of your presentation. But I've looked at it several times with you. I think next step is getting yourself prepared to go to the Board of Supervisors meeting. Your presentation needs to be to Jeff the Wednesday prior to their meeting, so that would be next Wednesday. And our recommendation, the pros recommendation, would be that you go in person to present this to them, and wear your uniform. Anything else, Donna or Jeff or anyone else?
I felt sorry. I apologize. I feel like I've taken over, but Kyle, can you go back to, because it would be helpful if what you showed to the board, and I don't know if you did it or not, because I didn't look at it that closely, like size, like do you have like a diagram? The pad's going to be this many feet by this many feet. The size of the roof is going to be this many feet. I saw pictures, but I don't know if I saw measurements. Do you have something like that? Because I think that would be helpful.
I do.
Okay, so I would bring that. Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't look at it. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm sorry, I didn't look at it close enough. Perfect.
Yeah, no worries.
Good. And everything else you said, Andrew, you're going to find a very open, happy to talk to you type board. So do not be worried about it. You seem like a great personality, anyways. But yeah, I think you're ready. I think it's gonna be fun. It's good conversation.
Okay,
I
thank you.
think just make sure that you have all of the information regarding pricing clearly laid out for them to see. And whatever information you said you're gonna do a fundraiser in order to raise, get money for it. And so make sure you have all of that prepared so they know where where the fundraising is happening, and just as much detail as you can, or surrounding that as well.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, thank you. And I look forward to seeing your presentation in a couple weeks. And please feel free to reach out ahead of time if you have any questions or there's anything you wanted to review.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Great job, Jacob.
Okay. Next up, we have David Payne from the Avon Grove Library. David, thank you for sitting through as we work through our agenda tonight. David is here to present to us. He met with or spoke with Dawn a couple months ago now, probably, regarding this kind of cool initiative that he's trying to put together through the library. And I will turn it over to you to review and discuss.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Andrea. Good evening to you all. Thank you very much for having me tonight. As Andrea said, I talked with Dawn some months ago now about a proposal, about a thought I had. I've been thinking a lot about how to connect with the really wonderful parks and open spaces that we have in the communities that serve us directly. Can you all hear me, by the way?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. So amongst the 8 communities that serve us, that we serve and fund us, we're blessed with some really wonderful parks, and Crossan Park, of course, is up there amongst them. But there are many others, Penn Township, London Grove, New London, and several others. And so I've been thinking about how to connect with nature, with wildlife, with the outdoors. In the summer, as you know, we have the very successful Storytime in the Park series, and that brings people out to the parks. But I thought, how can I carry it further? And then I had an idea about really about getting backpack kits that we would loan in the same way that we loan books and DVDs and everything else. And in the backpacks would be things like compasses, some simple lightweight books on the outdoors, on wildlife, on plants, on bird identification, binoculars, a magnifying glass, something like maybe a critter case for children to, to put bugs in and so on. But most importantly, and this is where it will connect with our local communities, it would have maps and trail guides and so on of Crossan Park and all the other parks in our immediate area. So it would be very much a localized effort and project. And the idea being that people could check these backpacks out. It would be an opportunity for families to explore nature together, to encourage children to learn about wildlife, respect natural habitats, and enjoy the outdoors. It's quite very simple. And putting it together, it comes to about, by my reckoning, about $100 or so, purchasing a backpack and putting all those items in. I had originally, our budget is very, very tight. And I had originally thought that perhaps I might ask for contributions from, doing it equitably amongst the various municipalities. But the more I think about it, and tell me if I'm wrong, you certainly fund us very generously each year. And so I feel as if I might be able to, sustain the cost of $100 for a backpack, to at least get this thing up and running initially, and maybe purchase a couple without asking for funding. So that said, I think my main ask is really in order to get this up and running as soon as possible, and really with summer will obviously be here soon. Really just to ask the committee to, if this is something that you think is of help, to consider what kinds of literature, park guides, maps, anything else to do with Franklin Township that you would like in the backpacks.
Mr. Payne, my apologies, but just so I understand, what's the donation you're looking for from the township? What's the dollar amount?
Well, it would be, by my reckoning, the cost of a backpack plus all the other tools, the compass, magnifying glass, binoculars, and so on, nature guides, would come to about $100 per backpack.
Okay. Are you looking for 1 or 10 or 5?
Well, I would say start off with say, I don't know, see how this thing goes. I would say, between 5 and 10 would be great, but I really wanted to, my thought was to do it initially, equitably, because you know, there are, I wouldn't want any, you know, one township to, you know, to fund us and others not to when they have parks as well. For, you know, as I said, Penn Township, London Grove, New London, all have very nice parks as well and are in a service area. So that was my thought. But again, I feel, thinking about it, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to feel like I'm seem to be, you know, nickel and diming you, since you do fund us very generously each year.
Yeah, so Jeff, I think David was saying that he was willing to at least start it without our funding, but wanted to get our support.
Sure, sure.
Get our feedback in terms of what would, well, and I know Dawn's chomping at the bit. What would be good? A book about bluebirds, I'm sure, would have to be in that pack. But I think that's what he's looking for advice on what kind of books and what kind of.
Well, I think I love the idea of the initiative. You know, my kids are huge fans of the library and the parks. We spend a lot of time reading and or outdoors, as minimal screen time as possible. And so I love the idea of it. I would love to, you know, kind of see if we can brainstorm some ideas. You know, I don't know that we want to include books about bluebirds, right? But maybe we could. I feel like something would get lost. Maybe we could, you know, we could do some sort of printouts of the bluebird trail or what they are, or the different, or maybe the most common birds that you would see over at Crossin, just on a sheet, printed on a color piece of cardstock or something, so that they could kids could try and identify the birds. They could, you know, check off ones as they see them. It could be like a little scavenger hunt of birds or trees, or just to kind of identify with the different things that they're going to see walking around the park, because and that park has so many wonderful, just kind of like, I mean, so many special little gems. And the whole idea is really great.
We can start with just runoffs of the signs, Kyle signs.
Yeah, you could. And I mean, we're so close to finalizing. I know Mary has, you know, she's working to finalize that map of the park. And so we can incorporate that into the backpack. So I think, certainly I think you have my support, David, and I know Dawn loves it. And,
Mr. Payne,
yeah.
my wife and I, as me being an employee of the township, my wife and I will donate $100 for a backpack.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
So please keep me in mind, and I'm willing to provide you the money when you would like it.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
I have a question. Are you doing backpacks for each park, or are you putting more than one park in the backpack so they can choose where to go?
That's a good question.
Franklin Township backpack, and then a New Garden, and
No, the idea would be to have one backpack with multiple park maps in it. So really, it would encourage families to go out and about and visit the various open spaces in our immediate community. And so yes, I think the aim obviously would be not to make a backpack too heavy, and that's a consideration. But I do feel we could get a good amount of literature in there, plus some lightweight, binoculars and compasses and so on, that would make it a really useful project. And perhaps this may be for a later time, perhaps next year, but perhaps we could come up with some kind of scheme where if you visit all the parks, like the National Park Service has the passport to parks thing or whatever. You visit all the parks and you have a booklet or something and you show you visited and you've done this and you've done that, you get some kind of reward. So just an incentive to get people out and about in a very simple way.
Well, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Like it.
oh, sorry. Is that Mary?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I definitely like the idea, but is it just gonna be like Crossin Park, or do you want the preserves? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Sorry, is that a question for me? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just curious if you're sticking to the main park.
I'm really, I mean, I really would defer to the committee on that. I mean, I think the aim, the overall aim is to get people out into the open spaces that we have. So I think it'll be up to each municipality to determine what they want to put in there. I mean, the more the better, I think. I would defer to the committee on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Mary, maybe it's just like a listing of all the different parks and preserves that are available for them to, for, people to kind of go explore, but the literature or the treasure hunt or whatever you want to call it, the scratch off of the different birds and trees or for the bigger parks. And so it gives everyone the information of the different preserves, but I feel like it would be hard to put a lot together, like kits for each preserve, each park.
I just
I
had
don't know.
maps on the mind. That's all I was asking for.
What does Mary need to clean up for you? Right?
Well, we have Banshire done.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
mapped already. So,
Well, you can start with the parks and then add on. And I like the idea of, I love David's idea of if you get a punch card of all the parks, then you get a prize. But if you sit, then add, if it does well, then you add on. So,
Well, it sounds like, David, we are all in support. We're all in favor. So,
Okay, thank you very much.
yeah, so I think, I would love to see how this progresses and however we can help. Please, reach out to me, email me, and we'll stay in contact.
Okay, thank you. I'll start getting the kids together, and I guess I'll circle back and just, ultimately we'll decide or what you would like in it. And
Yeah,
we'll go
and like I said, we're in the I loved your idea of the little binoculars, a bug catching thing. I'm trying to think what else.
the compass.
Compass was a great one.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe if you've got little packets for the different parks, if there's like a cool wooden pencil or something like that you could put in there. I know my kids for a very long time had these, like, they looked like sticks but they were colored pencils, and so if you got like a giant pack of those, then at the end of it, every kid maybe leaves, they go on this adventure and they have a cool stick like colored pencil. I don't know if anyone has any idea what I'm talking about, but they're very cool. So, but yeah, I mean, please, I'd love to help figure that out.
Great. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, well, we started off with two very exciting items. Next up on our agenda for tonight are the trees at Goodwin Preserve. I think Heather was going to maybe talk with her brother about those. Last we left off, we had gotten a price to treat the oak trees at Goodwin. And we were kind of waiting to see if, as spring sprung, if the trees were still how they looked. And I think, Heather, were you going to send your brother over to take a look at that? Maybe not. Maybe she disappeared for a minute. so I think Heather was gonna send her brother over to look at that. We did get a price, like I said, last year. The gentleman that priced it for us, I think it seemed to me if he was gonna go back out and evaluate again, he would charge us for a visit. And so I was trying to, Heather's brother worked for, maybe did she say Davy? I forget, for a very long time, and so he's got knowledge. And we were going to just try and send him there first, but before we spent money on anything or went to the board with that. So I guess stay tuned on that, and if Heather comes back, we can circle back around to her. Next up on the list is the poison hemlock mowing schedule. Jeff, do you have any information for us on that? I know we had talked about trying to get to it earlier in the season this year. What is the plan for that?
I worked with your father-in-law, Kenny, and it was cut approximately 3 Fridays ago at his recommendation.
There we
And
go.
then we will monitor it throughout the year, and can't guarantee it other than I will work with him. You know, it could be cut another 2 or 3 times. So I'm trying to rely on his expertise.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Thank you for that update.
I have another tree question before we get off of trees. What is happening with the trees in Crossin, the memorial trees? Does anyone know if they're alive? Remember we had trouble with them last year?
Yeah, so I think last I looked, they were alive. There was one that was like very much so in question. I just talked with several people about that last week, and I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over there actually this weekend because I was going to try and meet up with Liam and his dad just to look at the location of their kiosk stand, just to kind of hone in on that. And make sure where they're placing it is, you know, where it was discussed. And so, so I'll take a peek at those this weekend when I'm over there. I think I'm going on Saturday, so I will update everyone.
Andrea, anybody check the Canadian thistle at Goodwin?
I have spoken to the Hawking family about that. That is something else that we're monitoring. And we're anticipating that will be cut the 3rd week in May.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Kyle, for reminding me. Okay. Let's see. Next up on, if there's nothing else, I think we've kind of crossed those off the list. Next up is the You Are Here map. Mary, you are up on this.
Okay, I think, my friends, we are coming to an end. Yay. Did everyone receive the map that I sent yesterday?
Yes. Do you have it to share and pull up, or do you need me to look it up real quick?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can share.
Okay. Okay. If you can't, I'll find it.
I don't know how to share a screen. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Is the map open on your computer? Is the document open?
It can be.
Okay,
working
open the
on it.
document. Yeah, if you open the document, once it's open, along, at least on my computer, on the bottom of the Zoom screen, there is a green arrow that says share.
Is that it? Did I do it?
Good job.
Yeah.
You did.
All right. So here it is.
It is a little, it's not, I don't know if it's just my screen or everyone's. Is it centered on everyone's screen or just not mine?
It's centered.
Okay. Then ignore me. I've seen it.
Hold on, I have to try to unmute permanently here. Okay. Okay, clearly I am a pro at this. So there are edits. I made the edits to the spelling the meadow correctly. And then I cannot get the bench symbol to show up in the legend. I'm gonna have to ask about that on the support group and see why that won't come through. But speaking of benches, I changed the symbol because the symbol that we had was super weird. And I don't think it really was like, hey, this is a bench, unless you looked in the legend. So I don't know if you like that symbol for it or if it's a little weird. Any thoughts?
I like the symbol. I mean, my only comment would be on the inset. I feel like they're kind of taking over the photo. And so I don't know that there's anything you can do about that. I do like that, not that inset, the one off to the right, like the blow up of the inset.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on it. I just don't think you are.
Oh, okay. That sounds about right. So to me, it seemed there are just a lot of them, and I know that there are in the park. I'm just wondering if there's a way to make them any smaller within that inset, and maybe nobody else. Maybe it is. I mean, not bothersome to anyone. It just seems like they're large and scale wise, and so
excuse me. Yeah, those can definitely go smaller. And that's not a problem, but the picture or the symbol itself you like?
I do.
Okay. And you can tell what it is?
Yes.
Okay. And then if you go back out, you will see that there are select few benches on the orange trail. So there were benches everywhere, right? There were benches all along the field. Like, it was just really overwhelming. So I picked out the benches that were along the orange loop. What do you guys think about only showing those benches? And the one to the north a little, but.
I think that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it was just very overwhelming with all of them in there.
I mean, I think the orange loop is the one, is the primary loop that people use, right?
Yeah, it's paved.
So if somebody is going for a walk and they're looking to sit and kind of, sit as they go, then I think the orange loop is the loop that they would be on.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna kill me. I have a question for you.
Oh boy, what?
No, it's not bad. There's a gazebo. There is a gazebo in the park. Is it on the map?
There says there are two. Are there two gazebos? Or just the one? Because there says there are two.
Oh, was that it right there? The blue
See
thing.
these? Yes, the blue
okay.
right here.
If I'd only looked at the legend. Okay.
Yeah, that's a gazebo.
Okay.
And then the lower pavilion I called out. That was something that I added.
Is there a playground down by the lower pavilion? I thought I saw a symbol for a playground down there.
Oh, I re-exported because yes. That was not like supposed to be there.
All right. I was like, I don't think it's down there. Okay.
No, that was a mistake, but I caught it. So yeah, that's just down there. And then I wanted Dawn, what are your thoughts on the Bluebird boxes?
I think they're looking good.
Okay.
I like them.
And the little library symbol you like as well?
Yeah, I think, Jeff, are you on? Did you move the little library in the top lot?
Yeah, I'm looking at this for the first time.
Yeah. I know this is a pain, but I wanted to move the little library in the top lot to the front of the top lot where the parking is, so that people have easier access to it. I just felt that it was the right good spot. So they're gonna move it up to the front of the top lot by the parking area, under that tree.
Under the tree?
Under the tree, yeah.
Okay.
Mary, are you able to rotate those benches?
It would be a lot of work.
No,
but
just,
I can.
just asking.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. If it's easy, I can do it. We'll see how much work that is, but if it's something that everyone thinks should be done, then clearly I can do it.
No, and totally get that. I just didn't know if it was easy enough for you to click on it and
Oh,
rotate
no, no.
So,
it. Okay.
Mary, this is Donna. This is the first time I've actually looked at this.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I mean, it's just
Thank you.
wonderful. It's really wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You've done a great job. So you can leave the one little library under the front tree.
Okay. And then one other stylistic question. The dog waste station. I don't know what to do with that because it's like, why is that so important? It's not.
Yeah, it's just so big.
Is
So I
the
don't-
dog waste station just like baggies and like a trash can?
Yeah. But it's the
It
only one in
is
the
an
park, I think.
actual container bolted to the wall with doggy bags in it. So it's right between the men's and the ladies' room, so people can walk by, take it, and rip one or two off.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it looks fine in the inset.
Okay.
I mean,
think
it's
so
not,
too.
yeah, it's not in the other things.
No.
So, yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, cool. Oh, and while we're here real quick on this, Andrea, can you see the inset or are you still off to the side?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. These two trees right here, are they alive?
Yes,
I don't
they
know.
are.
But I'll
They
tell
are. Okay, cool.
you this. I think the one that was in question was down by that middle parking lot that everyone parks at for the baseball fields. I think
Yeah.
that there was a memorial tree in question down there.
Okay.
But I'll let you know when I head over to the park this weekend. I'm gonna go on Saturday.
Okay.
And so if you're around, maybe you can meet me over there and we'll look at it together.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Does anyone have any other questions or edits or
I have
anything?
a question. Go back down a little bit further. That bench, no, I'm sorry. Back there, right? Now, is the bench up at the bottom baseball field? The bench that's down there on the orange trail?
Right here?
Yes. Is that the one with the little garden around it?
I don't believe so. Hold on.
No.
No.
I didn't think so.
This
So,
one has the little garden around it, as does this. You can see the little garden circle. Can you
where,
see that?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's where the little gardens are.
okay, so you have that on there. I'm trying to get some other people to help me fix up that garden and that bench a little bit better. So as long as it's on there, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think my last question for you, and really this is probably a question for everyone, is do we, once these scout projects are finished, approved, does the bike repair station need to be noted? I don't know that the kiosk would need to be on here, but if we've got a larger like structure like the bike stand, would we do we wait to finalize the map until that gets approved by the board and maybe pop it on, or do we? I mean,
Would you want, for the bike station and such, if we're just changing like, hey, calling it out, it's simple. It's really no big deal. So we could do this and put this out or do it. I don't know exactly what's happening with this map, honestly, at this point. But it won't be that hard to just call that out at any point.
Okay.
You
So
know
I
what
think,
mean?
yes. Okay, good. So what we had talked about, Donna and Jeff, at the last meeting was getting this map to a point that it was, that it was essentially where it is now, and then having Jeff print it, or Stacy, somebody print it over at the township building so that we could check and make sure that once it was printed to scale, everything was still very legible. And so Mary, I think that's the next step. If we can send it over to, a couple modifications after tonight, but truly, I think, we are ready to do that, that dry run, right?
When
That's
you guys are ready, please email it to me and I'll get it done for you.
Okay,
Thank you.
24 by 24.
Anything
Okay.
your heart desires.
Okay, as long as it's not more than 36, right?
24 by 24 is doable.
Okay.
Well, and
Um,
the kiosk stand that that Liam's building is 36 inches wide. So I think a 24 by 24 map for down there is perfect as well, because then you've got room next to it to do the posted sign for the FSA. I'm so sorry, my dogs are going crazy.
Easy peasy, guys, not a problem. Even if you change
Okay.
your mind midstream, it's easy to do.
Okay. All right. I will then make those edits and send it on over to Jeff.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary. You have put a lot of hours into that, and it looks wonderful.
Thank you.
It really does.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thanks.
Okay, well, let's move on. Next up on our agenda, and Bob has been popping in and out, but next up on the agenda was the raised flower bed, and I'll just, over at Bamshire, I'll quickly touch on that. So he presented to the Board of Supervisors. Bob presented to the Board of Supervisors. They approved the project. And so next up, I think he's going to get materials, and we'll plan a day for the pro board and any volunteers to help him build his flower bed and plant it. And so I think that's on the horizon. So everyone keep that in mind.
It
Okay.
is, and just to
again,
let
sorry, Jeff.
it is, and just to let everyone know, Bob is having some computer problems this evening, so he is trying and has been.
That's okay. Okay. Let's see here. Under new business, we had David Payne from the Avon Grove Library. We already chatted with him tonight. Next up is a volunteer day. We had talked last meeting about doing a volunteer day for fixing tree tubes over on the Keene Trail and Franklin Preserve. Paul reached out tonight and said, let's see here. He said one of them were done, and we just need one other trail that we need volunteers for. I think somebody did the Keene Trail already. So we're going to plan a volunteer day. We've got several members of the community, I think high school kids looking to get service hours that are willing to help with that. And so we'll figure out a volunteer day and let everybody know when we'll do some tree repair, some tube repairs. The other thing is there are 2 large trees down over at in Bamshire. I think Paul sent everyone photos of that. He's planning to go cut them up on Friday night. He's got a couple volunteers, but he's wondering if anyone else on the board has time to help on Friday night, or they have kids that need service hours or whatnot. So this is kind of a little bit of a call for help on that. He said whoever comes, if so they could either bring shovel or a pick, because they'll have to strip the dirt from the root ball and fill in the hole on the trail. So I think it was 2 pretty big trees. One fell down and it knocked another down. So
hey Andrea, what time is that work going to begin?
he did not tell me, but I could let me text him right now, and I'll see if I can, if before the end of the meeting I can get an answer on that for you.
I think depending on what's going on, I might be able to help. So
Okay. Okay, stay tuned.
yep, thank you.
Sure. Let's see, quote for trail markers. Paul is still working on this. And I know that Liam is working on the actual stands for the trail markers, and he has started to work on his kiosk. He started to work on it on spring break. And like I said earlier, I am going to meet him and his dad over there on Saturday just to look at location for the kiosk. And just to make sure that everyone's on the same page as to where they plan to put it. And please, everyone kind of speak up on this. It was my understanding that the actual stand was going to go where the FSA's kiosk currently is. Is that correct? Is my understanding correct?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, it was going to go down there in that general area, and so.
But aren't we making room on Liam's board for the hunting and tags, or no?
Yes.
Yes, they would have
Okay,
to
then
be.
yeah, I think the board, yeah.
I think you're right, Mary.
So it could just be, so it is 3 feet wide. And I did get a photo of it or kind of a sketch of what they were planning tonight. And so I don't have it on my computer to share, but I think it's in process. It'll be about 3 feet wide. That should be plenty of room for our 24 by 24 map. And then also any sort of paperwork, posted signs from the FSA.
Now, is FSA board coming down? Or is it staying up?
It's coming down.
Okay.
So the idea is to take the old FSA board down and replace it with the new board that has the trail map and then the same functionality as the FSA board.
Correct. Okay. So I'll keep everyone updated on that then too. Let's see. Dave, Paul says 5 o'clock on Friday. That's when he's going.
Thanks, Andrea. I'll see if I can't join, but I think, as you know, tis the season for
It really is.
sports.
Sports are happening. Okay, good. I don't have anything else on the agenda. Any other additional items that I've missed that we need to review? Bob's here. Bob, we touched kind of briefly on the raised flower bed. Are you able to, do you want to speak to that a little bit? Is your computer, will it allow?
Unfortunately, he's having a few computer problems, but he can hear you.
Okay, good. Bob, we just did I quickly said a few minutes ago that your project was approved, and so you would help coordinate, getting everything over to Bamshire, and then we'll plan a day to put it all together. So. Okay, so if there are no additional items, I think that is. Anyone have anything?
Well, let me say, sorry, I joined very late. I was where my son's baseball game was tonight. So I did want to pop in and just say for the pro that at the May 15th Board of Supervisors meeting, we're going to discuss the Crossan Park trail plan. We left it at the last meeting. We had to have a couple of discussions. One of them had to be in executive session. And so we wanted to make sure that we circle back with the pro. My original intent was to have the discussion tonight, but real life got in the way. So we're going to have that discussion on May 15th. So if you're interested and want to join, please do. I mean, Andrea, you're always there. So, but I wanted to just let the pro know that we'll wrap up that discussion on the May 15th 2024 Board of Supervisors meeting.
Okay, and that discussion, will, I guess maybe you've had, the site engineer look at the trails and that is the discussion taking place then?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, before I cry, is this gonna alter trail?
Oh no, does it change Mary's map?
Yes, is it okay to
Oh.
finalize this map?
Yes, it might.
Okay,
I don't want to make you cry, Mary. I don't want to
all
make you
right,
cry, but it might. It might.
okay.
It's not like it's not going to be a total rework or anything. It might be a small little tweak. I don't know if that means any difference to you, but I think that we will have to make some adjustments to that trail plan, but nothing. I don't think it'll be a major overhaul.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
So yeah. And I'm happy to talk to you, Mary. I'm happy to talk to you offline, or I mean, I keep saying offline. I'm happy to talk to you if you just want to call me and we can talk about it. I'm happy to talk to give you a heads up on what we're thinking. But,
Okay,
you know,
I can do that.
but it's it won't be a major change.
Lauren is a catch, man. Make your move.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, well, if we are done, I will vote to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? No, everyone wants to go. Okay, good night. Thanks, guys.
Good night. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.